Hi, I'm Lena. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to talk about Jimmy. And I know you're wondering, like, what? Who's Jimmy? What's Jimmy? What you talking about? But today I'm going to tell you the story of how Jimmy came to be. Picture it, Sicily, 1929. Like, no, I'm playing. So I should tell you about my entrepreneurship journey. And I'll make it real quick because that's not what this is about, but it is important. Um, in October, November of 2018, I decided to become a full-time entrepreneur. Now, this is not my first business, but this was my first time being a full-time entrepreneur. In the past, all of my businesses have been side businesses. I had heard a message from God that it was time to leave the company that I had been at for 11 years to pursue this thing as an entrepreneur. And so I did. I left my full time job with two, three, two or three clients. And I was moving along the entrepreneurship journey um, when one of my friends, who I'm actually a co founder for her business, for her startup, I should say, we decided to enter an incubator. And just so happens that I got invited to come into the incubator as a startup founder. And so um, my original goal, so I should probably explain what I do, what I did in my consulting business. So by trade, I am a project manager. I am a web and mobile application developer, and I am a business process automation business process automation specialist. And so I was doing all of those things. And when I came into the incubator, um, my original goal was to help product-based businesses develop systems around their marketing. And I had done a lot of customer discovery around this. Um, but as I was talking with my advisor, she told me that it's a high hill to climb when I'm attempting to get um, small business owners to relinquish control of their systems, to get them to relinquish control of their processes and to try new things. And so, because an incubator is one of those things that allows you to uh, foster an idea through the ideation phase. Um, we decided that I would try something else. Now, on the side, because I'm a mobile and web application developer, I was tinkering with Jimmy. Um, and I'll get into why I named him Jimmy in just a minute, but I was tinkering with Jimmy. So, y'all gonna laugh at me, but that's okay because I'm me. And I um, have always, ever since I watched the first Iron Man and I heard of Jarvis, I've always wanted my own Jarvis. And I'm not talking about Alexa. I'm not talking about Hey Google. Like, I'm not talking about none of them because they're good for they're good for what they do. But uh, I wanted something that would ultimately be a personal, virtual, uh, artificial intelligent assistant for myself. It's always been a dream of mine. I've been sitting on it. I mean, when did Iron Man 1 come out? That's how long I've been sitting on this idea. And so I knew that I would always name him Jimmy. And um, I knew that I was going to build him. But now being an entrepreneur, I suddenly had the time to foster this idea. With artificial intelligence, it's only as good as its data, right? So the first thing I wanted to start with, uh, well, it's not the first thing I wanted to start with, but when I was looking at building this first piece of Jimmy, the first thing I wanted to build was the follow-up portion, because I had a stack of business cards this big from doing customer discovery in the incubator, and I wanted to do something with them. And so I decided to build Jimmy as a way to follow up. And so I was building it for me. Now, I was not building this for anybody else except me. But I brought it to my advisor because, like, she was like, the other thing that you're doing won't work and you just need to do something else. Like, and I was so frustrated, but that's a story for another time. Maybe I should tell y'all my tech incubator startup journey, but that's a story for another time. Um, so what I was doing was like I was building this thing. She said, "That's the money. That's the money ticket right there." So I'm like, okay, whatever. Go do customer discovery around that. So I went and did it. How do people follow up? Well, in the South, which is I'm from Atlanta, and what we do, especially between the ages of like 32 to 50, we hand out business. So Jimmy, in its current state, helps you to follow up. It does this by scanning a business card, and that business card extracts the email. And from there, you can send an email to whoever it is that was on the business card. Uh, we're currently in a closed alpha, and we are looking for alpha testers. So if you want to get in on the ground floor with Jimmy and be a early adopter and test the inner workings, if following up is an issue for you, if you want to see if I really make Jarvis, if I make the Jimmy, the Jarvis version of Jimmy or something similar to that, stay tuned. Last, one thing that I wanted to say is why I named Jimmy Jimmy, right? And y'all gonna laugh at me, but I'm me, and this is me being me. But when I was thinking about the name Jimmy, I wanted to ascribe it to someone who I thought would be a great assistant. And one of my favorite movies of all time is The Five Heartbeats. So Jimmy was the Five Heartbeats manager, and Jimmy worked really hard for the Five Heartbeats. I mean, to the point where his life was on the line. Uh, well, actually, he ended up losing his life. Dang, I'm telling y'all the story. That's not really the story. The story is about the group. But if you ever seen the Five Heartbeats, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But if you have seen it, then you know how hard Jimmy worked for that group. And I wanted Jimmy, the app, to work just as hard for you as it does as Jimmy did for them. So what's next for Jimmy? What's next? You gotta stay tuned. um, Again, if you want to sign up to be an alpha tester, the link to sign up is below. Um, and this is just to get in on the ground floor. Right now, we're in a private alpha in iOS, and we will have another alpha in the Google Play Store very soon. If you have any questions about mobile app development or Jimmy or your version of Jarvis, please leave them in the comments. So let's chat down in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe if you wanna